Can somebody start reciting the shloka? Dhyayatas charanam bhojam.
Let I try, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhu, please.
ध्यायतश्चरणां भोजं भावनिर्जितचेतसा औत्कण्ठस् औत्कन्त्याश्रुकलाक्षस्य हृद्यासीन्मे शनैर्हरिः.
Very nice.
Word by word meaning. Dhyayatah, thus meditating upon. Charanam bhojam. Charana ambojam, the lotus feet of the localized personality of Godhead. Bhava nirjita, mind transformed in transcendental love for the Lord. Chetasa, all mental activities, thinking, feeling, and willing. Autkantya, eagerness. Ashrukala, tears rolled down. Akshashya, of the eyes. Hridi, within my heart. Asit, appeared. Me, my. Shanaihi, without delay. Harihi, the personality of Godhead.
Very
Translation.
Nice.
As soon as I began to meditate upon the lotus feet of the personality of Godhead within my mind, transformed in transcendental love, tears rolled down my eyes, and without delay, the personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna, appeared on the lotus of my heart.
Here, this word Autkantya is very interesting. Utkantha, Autkantya, eagerness. So what is happening here? Narad Muni is meditating on the super soul. Whatever he has based on whatever he has learned from the sages. So before leaving, they gave the sages. The sages gave the knowledge, no? So the Autkantya means it actually Utkantha. Hridautkantya Vatadrito Harihi. There is a beautiful verse. I will tell you it's a beautiful verse is there. Same Autkantya word is used by Brahma. 2:6:34. Can take that from 2:6:34. Very, very beautiful verse. Huh? Na bharati me kamrushopalakshate na vai pachinme manaso mrushagatihi na me hrishikani patantya satpate yanme hridaukantyavata harihi. See here also the same thing. Aukantyavata is used here. What is this?
By great eagerness.
By great earnestness. And if you read the translation, it's a very beautiful translation.
O Narada, because I have caught hold of the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, with great zeal, whatever I say has never proved to have been false. Nor is the progress of my mind ever deterred, nor are my senses ever degraded by temporary attachment to matter.
See, with great zeal, I've caught of the lotus feet of the Lord with great zeal. as Maharaj used to highlight this very much, that that zeal has to be there whenever we are going to Krishna. Can you hear me?
Yes, Prabhu.
That great zeal has to be there. And zeal means we have got it's something which you have been waiting for a long time, and finally you got it. There will be a great zeal with which you will be great zeal, like a great enthusiasm, great earnestness. That is what is called zeal. Um, Maharaj used to give this very nice thing about New Zealand. New Zealand. There is a great zeal there in that land. So that's why it's called New Zealand. Um, so like that, great zeal means it's a height of earnestness and eagerness. I mean, there's so much joy is there because you approach Krishna. All the other material tendencies will not touch us. So this mind, coming back to our 1:16, Dhyayata Charanambodhi. So we're meditating upon the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. Bhava Nirjita Chetasaha. His bhav has all been completely transformed in ecstasy, in love of Krishna. That's a beautiful thing. Bhava Nirjita. Hmm? This Nirjita means Nirjita and Ajita are pretty much similar. Uh, 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 Ajita means that cannot be conquered at all. Who cannot be conquered. Nirjita also that which cannot be defeated. Uh, so this the bhav which got uh, fixed into the lotus feet of the Lord, because the mind is transformed into pure consciousness, pure transcendental consciousness. Nothing can touch it or nothing can affect it. That is the meaning. Nothing can nothing can defeat it. In other words, overcome it. In other words, like when we are all normally, when we are into devotional service, doing some activities, you'll experience it. But after some time, it will be overcome by our material modes, right? But this bhav, which Narad Muni got, it cannot be defeated or conquered. It cannot be overcome at all. That's a beautiful meaning. Bhava nirjita chetsa. Because it's completely absorbed in Krishna, this material energy cannot touch at all. Today morning, the Krishna's arrangement in Srirangam, this devotee took me to he took me to the Gopal Bhatta Goswami's appearance birthplace in Sinna. In Srirangam, from there you have to go some 5-6 kilometers into a very remote area where there is a place where they have beautiful deity form of Gopal Bhatta Goswami there, and that's the place where he was born. Where he grew up and all this, that's there just behind the Raghunath Swami temple in Srirangam. Just around, you might have seen that place where the Jagannath and the Subhadra deities are also there, possibly carved by Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is a place where it's completely silent, completely pin drop silence. You only hear the peacock sound, or one of that you hear bird sound. That's all you hear. And in a nice humble place, they have a beautiful life-size murti made of Panchalokana, like how the Panchaloka. That they have got a beautiful deity of Gopal Swami. And every year, the Radha Ramanlal, uh, the devotee, that preacher, Pundarik Prabhu, he comes with his wife every year to, uh, they said, uh, Jan 18th is the appearance day of Gopalbhatta Goswami, so they are having a very beautiful program there. All the local devotees are coming there. So it's such a beautiful place, full of trees and thing, and they are having all day katha about Radharamana, Gopalbhatta Goswami, and so on there. The reason I'm saying this is because when I went there, it's a completely transcendental experience. Because complete silence. There is no pin drop silence. There's no unnecessary sound here and there, and it was so pleasing. uh, and I was just thinking at that time that even a say suppose a bike is traveling here, you might be hearing some disturbance sound here and there. Uh, that is also a touch of the material energy, because the moment you hear these sounds, our hearing thing gets distorted. Or when we are talking, some people are discussing different things. Sometimes we're talking phone rings and all this. These are the minute ways in which the material energy, we are coming in contact with the material energy while experiencing the spiritual energy. We are discussing or chanting, discussing Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, chanting, etc. Imagine we are in the middle of the Kali thing, where suppose you are going by the Mumbai local train, or the, say traffic in one of these big metros, and where people are shouting, screaming, and all these things at each other. These are all actually the interference of the material energy into our um, into our life. So every time the material energy interferes, or suppose we are some nice katha is going on, somebody is talking the backside, or say suppose you are hearing some kirtans and you are talking somewhere and some other noise is coming. All these things are actually interference of the material energy. We are being forcefully touched by the material energy when we are trying to experience the spiritual energy. And this bhava nirjita is actually where this mind is not affected or interfered or interrupted in its flow towards Krishna, in the flow of his transcendental love, love his service towards. So that is what exactly was happening in Muni's life, simply because of this one thing of following the order of his spiritual masters. And the moment that flow is constant, Krishna came and sat Hridyasi Chennai. Without any delay, Krishna has come and sat on his heart. So being touched by the material energy is not only these interference of the sounds, etc. It is also when someone is, suppose we are chanting and suddenly we are thinking about somebody who has scolded us, screamed at us, or cheated us, or knowingly we are doing uh, some cheating thing and so on. It really affects our consciousness. Uh, because while doing chanting or while reading or while preaching and all, these things come and interfere us, these thoughts. So the thoughts of someone who is materialistic in nature disturbs our flow of devotion service even while studying and while chanting and so on. You see, so that's why an interrupted or broken sadhana is not very pleasing for us. Somehow or other, we should make sure that this nirjita bhav is very important. Nirjita bhav means a bhav which is not defeated by the material energy. Yeah, the flow of our bhakti, which is not overcome or defeated by the interruptions created with the material energy. Does it make sense? So, as much as possible, to the extent we can meditate on Krishna and surrender ourselves to Krishna, saying that Krishna, please somehow or other protect the flow of my bhakti to flow uninterrupted towards your lotus feet. You know, my mind should always be flowing towards your lotus feet. That prayer is, I was just thinking um, how much our chanting, reading, and all gets interrupted by this touch of this material energy. Somebody would have done something to us throughout our chanting, our reading, our other service, etc. Constantly, there is this counteraction going on in our minds, isn't it? How do I reply to that person? How do I retaliate to that so and so situation? How do I prove my speech correct, etc., etc. So all these are material energies, the touch of the material energy in our flow. So this is something which is very important. I mean, I was trying to introspect myself how to get out of this, the touch of this material energy, constant touch, constant, constantly being affected by this material energy. It's a very serious thought. Serious thought has to be given over this situation. Yeah. Any thoughts before we go further into the purport?
Krishna Prabhuji,
Yes, Prabhu.
I was relating this with one Prabhupada statement, which I realize now by your class the meaning of that statement. Prabhupada usually tell, na, when devotees say that I am in Maya, I am having lust, anger, greed, Prabhupada used to say that I will kick it out in my one kick, provided you follow my instruction. That is applicable here. As with this, constantly these thoughts are coming on. But if we are meditating on spiritual master instruction or senior Vaishnava instruction, like Narada Muni has done here, then we will be, then Prabhupada, that kick, that touch of Prabhupada kick will remove that material force from our spiritual path.
Very
That
true,
with
Prabhu.
this, we got realized.
You brought up a very beautiful point here, Prabhu, because why we keep meditating on the on the material energies, the consciousness being always into material things, because for faith in Krishna, Guru is very fragile. So we think that they may not do anything, so we will have to do something. So somehow or other, yes, we will have to be alert and take steps, etc. But sometimes the power of the material energy is so much that we cannot overcome it but by our own strength. Because at the end of the day, if somebody is doing something, uh, the super soul has to somehow or other stop that entity, living entity, to not do so in a certain way, which is affecting us, isn't it? How much ever we go and say, it may not really work. So we have to understand and appreciate the fact that meteorology is not under our control but under Krishna's control. Okay? We try to counteract every time thinking that I will be able to overcome the material energy. But Krishna time and again proves us that no, Mama Maya Duratyaya, Mamaya Prapajyanti. Only when you surrender to me, Maya Vedanta, you can cross over. So it's a beautiful point you brought up, Prabhu. Thank you for that. Any other thoughts before we move further? Any other thoughts, Prabhu, before we move further? Very beautiful point.
Namaji.
Yes. Yes,
So,
Madhu.
um, so when you say that I'm just contemplating, then whatever we are doing, like already we are not doing it perfectly. And as you said, like there is a constant, thought of this material touch is there. Then how are we actually? At least myself, I'm just thinking. Then how do we ensure that we will, improve or that get rid of that constant touch of that material, because there is no other way. We are already conditioned and it's always something is troubling us. That is very true. That when you said that, I'm just deeply thinking about how we can actually,
Yeah.
at least for the time period, when we hear Bhagavatam, or at least when we do chanting, at least those times, how can we get rid of those thoughts?
So very, this is natural question that will come for inquisitive devotees. Always, we always have that. I was also thinking, but having said, I think it's a very nice question. Uh, First step is to ask this question, what you have asked. When we ask this question itself, the solution starts, the answer to the problem starts. Because at least we have identified it. At least we have identified that, oh yes, this is the problem. I accept that my mind is not steady when I'm chanting. I accept that my mind is not steady when I'm reading or discussing some points or studying something from the scriptures. I'm not able to do that. So that identification and acceptance is the starting point, which is will help. The second thing is the next step is to uh, meditate on our spiritual master, right? When we meditate our spiritual master and pray to him, uh, then the next step of rectification starts. Accepted, you have accepted our mistake. Then you meditate on our spiritual master. That many times, I personally myself, when I start thinking back and back time and again to my how things happen. It is always that full faith in the spiritual master. To somehow or other we should develop that. That whatever problems we may have, end of the day, it is a spiritual master who will help us and guide us to overcome these situations. Right? So it is very, very important to do that. It's very important to meditate and not only just meditate, but meditate on this transcendental qualities, how they are able to overcome the material energy. Because the moment we focus our energy on the spiritual master, our consciousness becomes spiritual. The moment we think of a spiritual master, that's why it's spiritual master. So the moment we meditate on spiritual master, and acharyas like Prabhupada and all our acharyas in Sampradaya, immediately our mind gets transformed, bhava, nirjita happens. So we pray to them, please, I want to serve you nicely. Somehow or other, these thoughts are coming again and again and again, and I'm not able to do uninterrupted service to you and uh, uh, the Supreme Lord, my dear. Gurudev. Like that, when we pray sincerely, then they will take the steps. Because end of the day, Mataji, this nothing can happen with our own endeavors. It is not possible to do anything with our own endeavors, especially when it comes to spiritual life. Uh, the accepting the lotus feet of the spiritual master as the only shelter and only source of protection and progress is the way to go. And meditating on this more and more as I feel that many times, how many times I have failed in following the orders of my spiritual master and fulfilling his instructions. I could see that It's all because of the accumulation of all the moments when we are not able to meditate on the lotus feet of spiritual master. So that is something where I see that the next step has to happen. And then we should actually pray to them that somehow or other give me the strength to follow your instructions. First, we put our petition to them, saying that this is my problem, please help me. And then we say that automatically the mental strength will come. Automatically that willpower will come to us. Because the moment we meditate on a spiritual master, we become spiritual. Because we go under the shelter, no? Sadviti Pranipāt, when we surrender, then automatically the the strength comes. Every time, for me also, and many others also have agreed to this point, that the more and more and more we meditate on the glorious qualities of pure devotees, say from Bhagavatam, then from our own Guru and say Srila Prabhupada and all the other acharyas in our Prabhupada. Anytime we meditate on their pure qualities, transcendental qualities, our mind becomes clean and transparent and very, very clean and very, very pure. It gets sanctified and no negative energy at all. We keep telling, no, there's too much negative energy in some place. That negative energy means material energy. Is too much of that materialistic energy is there. How we can cheat somebody and then uh, enjoy. How we can somehow or other escape from certain things, etc., etc. So many different ways uh, one can get affected by the material. This material keeps on going and trying to stop us. But unless and until we meditate on the lotus feet of spiritual master, what is that? Sri Guru Charana Padma, Kevala Bhakti Sadma. Andomoyi Savadhanamate, right? This line itself is the answer to our all problems, all queries. Charana Padma, Sri Guru Charana Padma, Kevala Bhakti Sadma. Bando, it's not Bando, it's Bando. Actually, because in Bengali they say Vas, Ba, no Vivekananda, this thing. So like that, Bando Mui means I am meditating, I am paying my pranams. Savadhanamate. Savadhanamate means with full attentive mind. Savadhan is focused mind. Savadhan is, Savadhanamate. Hmm? So that is the next step. And once we do that, then naturally what happens is the Guru and Krishna gives us a strength to overcome those situations. That is where it is a very, very important step, as I see. When we meditate on the lotus feet of the spiritual master, when we accept it, then for the rectification, this is the way. And then pray to the Guru, pray to the spiritual master, that somehow or other give me an opportunity to serve you. Then really we can go to the next step, which is the actual rectification. So that will naturally happen. You
Sometimes,
see,
sometimes when we
yes,
feel
ma'am.
that we are not enough motivated, also seeing my Guru Maharaj, like some lecture I hear, some words that he spoke come and strike me. Then I get that enough motivation. As you said, now I am just thinking. And it's also like always, as per I am concerned, like I may not always be motivated to feel please Krishna, but it is very easy to please spiritual master because he's already given his instruction.
Mm.
So if I listen to his instruction, then I feel that okay, if I do this, he will be pleased. So at least that direct instruction will sometimes, motivates me to for myself. I'm just thinking. So it's one way. It's very easy also to um, to think of the instruction and trying to work on that instruction, trying to pay attention to the instructions of the spiritual master.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Thank
Many times I see that we all are so busy in our devotions. Like for example, 2 months of marathon thing. Then before that, Kartik month programs. Then again now within a month, within this month actually so many programs are there. And then Gaura Purnima and one by one all the other festivals will start. So another year will be there. In the busy schedule of this thing, which is good. Our senses are being engaged constantly in seva. But at the same time, some introspection on a daily basis, if we can do, that will really help. That is something where I see that myself um, lacking and need to improve. Because when we introspect and see where I can improve, and we can meditate on when we hear some lectures or when we hear some instructions or discuss with each other about some instructions or some particular pastimes about spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada and all, then we can naturally see that our contact, we are coming in contact with like just like Narada came in contact with the river and the river water, which is so pure, immediately he became energized, no? Before that, he was going into all these different places, and he was feeling very tired. The moment he got in touch with the say pure entity like the river, then immediately he got nourished and he refreshed. So the same way, when we are also connected or meditating on uh, the transcendental qualities and the transcendental activities and pastimes of Guru and Krishna, that itself is a touch of the spiritual energy in our life. So that will naturally take us to out of the material environment. But the
Prabhuji,
problem is that the mind will keep dragging us away from there. We don't feel like uh, going back to their sections, their Vani, right? Yes, Prabhuji.
I wanted to say this point only that you might drag us to material things, or we can further. May I express in Hindi so that I can express more better way?
Yeah, please.
बल्कि हम क्या सोचते हैं, बल्कि हम अपने मन को और उसमें लगा देते हैं भौतिक विषय में. जैसे अभी आपने क्लास में डिस्कस किया था त्रिवेंद्रम वाले में कि वी नो द प्रॉब्लम, वी नो द सॉल्यूशन, प्रॉब्लम इज दैट वी आर नॉट रेडी टू अप्लाई इट. तो वो कमी रह गई हमें. हमारा जैसे बोला ना, श्री गुरु चरण पद्म केवल भक्ति सद्मा, तो केवल भक्ति सद्मा वही है, लेकिन हमने बहुत सारे और चीजों में भी अपना ध्यान लगा रखा है, जो कि हमें उधर जाने नहीं दे रहा, खींच ले रहा है इधर. यही प्रॉब्लम था, बोलने वाला था. माइंड हमें ट्रैक कर दे रहा है.
What does sadma means?
That first line you said, no, Guru Vandana.
No, that's sadma. What is the actual meaning of sadma?
मतलब जैसे for devotional practice, this is only one step we have to follow. That only we have to focus on the instruction given by Guru.
Kevala Bhakti Sadma. Bhakti Sadma means it's a way how we can go forward.
Yes.
What's the meaning of? Anybody knows the meaning of sadma? Progress, I think. Bhakti Sadma. So, very love to see that kind of very beautiful word. And then the fourth word meaning will be there. Yes. Sadhana means you are attaining, you are reaching there, progress basically. So while singing also, we need to if we get the meanings, it will be really very, very powerful. See, look at Nargoni's situation. All alone, spiritual masters have left, mother has left, and what to do? He's just somehow or other is going around. He is getting touch of the different material energies. At that time, he is not able to see Krishna there. Ideally speaking, when we are in the purest consciousness, we won't see anything as material. Everything you can see, everywhere and everything you can see Krishna. Right? So, how do we uh, handle this whole thing when the material energy keeps flowing? That's where we need the help of the spiritual master and advanced devotees. When we are sitting here and talking this 1 hour, we are all practicing devotees in which different levels wherever we may be in. But because of the sincere desire to somehow or other say appreciate and release Bhagavatam, and we are trying to do in our own little ways, um, I can see that Krishna is actually helping us. Krishna is helping us in discussions, etc. I know many times I don't come like to speak these things, points like that. When Sarvajini Mataji asked this question, I could only speak what I felt that something which is lacking in me, which would be better if I'm trying to fix it, if I can try to fix it. So, uh, especially when we meditate more and more on the how it will be nice, how much the spiritual will be, how much he will be upset if I am behaving in a certain way. In all these things, actually, we are actually in touch with the spiritual energy. The flow of the spiritual energy takes our mind to the different platform. Right? So, so that is a very important result. I can see Piyush Prabhu has made some point here. Um, beautiful point here. Iron rod example is relevant when it is a constant touch with it has a power of fire. Because it loses the power of fire. Iron rod, yes. Iron rod can act as fire till it is in constant touch with fire. This is a nice, beautiful example. Again, the same thing. The spark in the fire, as long as that spark is in close contact with the over the main fire thing flame, then it is not lost. The moment that spark goes away from the main flame, it loses its capacity. So that is where it is it is in touch with the material energy. So even with living entities also, the more one is in touch with the material energy, the more one tries to counteract that energy. And the problem with the counteraction mentality is that he is doing like this, I will do like this, he will do this, I will do like this, etc. Means a lot of time is wasted. Second thing is our faith in Bhakti and Krishna and Guru is very weak because we are trying to counteract the material energy with the material energy, not with the spiritual energy, with the support of the spiritually powerful personalities. And that's where the whole thing stops, is what I feel. So we need to revive that again and again, see how we can come out of this constant touch of the material energy in my life, and how do I purify my my bhakti sadhana a bit more. And that attempt which Narada Muni is making in his alone in a lonely place, it is 100% sincere effort, right? It's 100% sincere effort, and Krishna is very much pleased. When I'm alone, I can do so many things. There are so many things which we can do. The more we meditate on somebody's negative qualities, the more we go deeper and deeper into seeing Asha. Ritu Maharaj and Indra's case, also Brahma and Vishnu. they say the same thing. The more you are counteracting a person's material onslaught or a place's material onslaught, the counteraction is material. So it affects us very badly. So somehow or other, we should have this faith that focusing our life on the somehow or other the seva, the spiritual side, will help us overcome this powerful touch of this material energy in our life. Thank you for that quote. Piyush. So constantly being in there with the spiritual masters association, with Krishna's association in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam, discussing them in a sincere way. We don't want to become too much of a scholar or whatever, but whatever we are here reading here, they should actually increase our complete dependence on Krishna. The complete dependence on Krishna. So that even in our so-called material activities, Krishna is there. Instead of Krishna is subtly, he's undercurrent, he's flowing. So anything we do, we say, I'm going to the office, I'm going here, I'm meeting somebody, I'm doing this, I'm doing some business, etc. So in a subtle way, we have this faith that if Krishna is making all these things too, that faith is there. Then we are safe. But the more and more and more contact with the material energy is there, the more we become, we surrender to the material energy. So even in spiritual activities, when there are some ups and downs, we try to counteract the spiritual, the ebb and flow, the lower gradation, no? When it is going low, we try to counteract with material energy, counteract the situation with the material energy, which is wrong. We should actually take shelter of more of the spiritual energy or the spiritually energized personalities. That will really help us. Like Rajesh Prabhu was telling me yesterday, today also morning we are discussing. It's such a nice thing that small ways this Amatvani app helps people. Uh, that he went through. I think it must be in that this day that year or somewhere he saw the quote about Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur's golden words, which I think we had put it a few years ago. I was so much attracted to it that he immediately asked for where is the entire book. I want to read the entire book. And then I just gave a hint from where he put it's available in the online also. He's so happy. So that is the symptom of touch of the spiritual energy in our life. That you will hear something from Bhagavatam, you hear something from say the different sources of Acharya's words, Bhagavani and all these different nectar and everything different days coming. There's little nuggets. They are like they're pushing us slowly towards Krishna. And those are really very helpful. Go forward. That is where I think the more material energy has its onslaughts on us, the more we should take shelter of the spiritual energy instead of taking the shelter of material energy. Maya is picking us, and we are again taking shelter of Maya only. Again and again it will pick us. So, okay. So, any other thoughts, any other points before we move on to the purport?
Prabhuji, you said that now when we are in a problem, we try to set it out through material solution instead of going for spiritual. So how to understand this a little bit? Can you elaborate? What attempt we are doing that it is material and what attempt we should make that it is spiritual?
The way I've seen Maharaj say this is that he usually uses this word, we are all in the modes. We are all under the modes. We are all under the material modes. So the material energy has its impact on us by the variegated permutations and combinations of the modes, lower modes, basically, passion and ignorance. So what that does is, in our life, um, it drags us down to think that so-and-so place is wrong, so-and-so person is wrong, etc. So naturally what happens is we take the same thing that which is affecting us as a weapon. Like for example, we also get into the mode of passion and ignorance and affect that person or the place. We are counteracting to that. So that is why Maharaj always said we are all in the modes. Unless and until you come out of the modes, um, your bhakti will not be of high quality. So we may preach, we may do so many different things, but if our bhakti is not imbued with uh, a high quality consciousness, uh, in the sense that um, um, when I say high quality consciousness, seeing everything being enacted by Krishna and his energies. When we see that way, how this world is progressing, how different living entities are interacting and behaving with each other, um, then we will be able to appreciate it. That's what I am seeing. So when we appreciate it and see that instead of me taking shelter of the material modes, if we can take shelter of Krishna's qualities, meditate on Krishna's qualities, how Krishna would react, etc. So on. So then at least some peace of mind will be there. This is where I am. This is where I am thinking that we need the help of the spiritual master and the Krishnas through their glory. That's one of the main reasons why we should actually do the glorification of Krishna and Guru. Because when we do the glorification, naturally we are meditating on their good qualities. And when we are meditating on their good qualities, we are taking shelter of the higher higher um, energy, right? Like, say, for example, if a situation is there where I will have to react in a certain way, um, then if we can think for a moment how Krishna and Guru will react, how leave it Krishna alone because he has a different way of handling it. How Guru will react or how Guru will advise. You know, for that, if we are not able to get the answer, we can talk to the senior Vaishnavas who spend more time with Guru. That will also help us in a very important. So basically, these are all things where we let our ego take over, let the modes take over, and then we are controlled by all this thing. That is what is affecting us. So when we realize that this is the problem, then then the next step is pretty much to take shelter of the higher consciousness, that is Krishna and Guru. Are their transcendental qualities and activities. That will really help us come out of it. Does that help, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Again and again, I'm not speaking to anybody. I'm just trying to address my own mind because last few days I was in some. I have been, in fact, even now the situation is there. Even while chanting, while in fact, while trying to discuss Bhagavatam and others also. Uh, Somehow or other I can see that the mind is disturbed. I was actually in Srirangam on the day of Vaikuntha Ekadasi, the most auspicious day. I got darshan of the Lord after I was standing in the queue and etc. So on and so forth. And I got darshan of all the deities there, and it was a very pleasing day to be frankly speaking. But then the moment you come out of it, they saying then again the mind takes over, isn't it? So I was just thinking how to get rid of this or how to come out of this thing. It's really disturbing. Not only that the material energy at that time is disturbing, after that also we feel lamenting that, my God, we wasted our time in thinking these things. Why can't we spend time in a better way? This is where devotional service in the association of devotees is very, very important. It's like-minded devotees, Prabhupada says many times. Because when we can express ourselves to them, a like-minded, when you say like-minded, it means we are express ourselves to them, or we can feel that they will be in a good position to help us rather than exploit us. So, while there are so many people who may be mixed devotional, doing mixed devotional service, etc., there are definitely those who do pure devotional service, have done pure devotional service. So taking their shelter or somehow or other showing that sincerity that I want to advance, somehow or other I want to advance, I want to progress. Please help me. Hmm? This way we would be able to come forward. Yesterday I was talking to one of these devotees. He's a disciple of Swami Jayaprakash Maharaj, and he told me this very, very interesting point that many years ago, when he was affected by some situation where he had to stay away from the group congregation, etc., for some time, and then he felt repentant and went to meet Maharaj, um, asking for solution, what to do really. Then Maharaj told him that he told Maharaj, I have committed this lot of offenses. Then Maharaj told him that your offenses will vanish if you continuously absorb yourself in preaching. The more you preach, the more your offenses will go away. Very interesting connection here. That's really appreciating that point of Maharaj was trying to rectify our situation, our own say situation where we might have got into some situation due to say offenses or carelessness or whatever. Uh, Maharaj told him that there's no time to lament over this. Just go and preach. And this preaching is not only to the others. Preaching includes preaching to our own mind. Because when we are studying Bhagavatam, they're actually preaching to the mind, isn't it? Then we go and speak to the other's mind. When you're studying Bhagavatam, Prabhupada is preaching to our mind. We are not preaching, Prabhupada is preaching to our mind. And when you go and say the same thing after thinking it in our hearts, you go and say this to others, we are sharing that preaching, that experience to the others, isn't it? So I was amazed to see how Maharaj is connecting that, yes, you are not able to progress further because of your offenses, but the way you can mitigate those offenses is by continuously preaching. And that preaching involves your own sadhana and going and giving to others. So don't waste time over lamenting over what might have happened and all that. Just carry on with your seva. So I somehow like that very much at that particular point. And I was thinking, yes, this is how the spiritual masters guide the struggling communities. Okay, so let's do one thing. Let's read this purport. Who would like to read this purport now? First paragraph.
May I read, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhu, please.
The word bhava is significant here. This bhava stage is attained after one has transcendental affection for the Lord. The first initial stage is called Shraddha, or a liking for the Supreme Lord. And in order to increase that liking, one has to associate with pure devotees of the Lord. The third stage is to practice the prescribed rules and regulations of devotional service. This will dissipate all sorts of misgivings and remove all personal deficiencies that hamper progress in devotional service. Whatever we were discussing, it is coming here in purport. When all misgivings and personal deficiencies are removed, there is a standard faith in the transcendental matter.
To be honest with you, Prabhu, I've read these purports way back, but definitely not before this class starts. And you can see whatever we are discussing till now, Prabhupada has just repeated the same point. Isn't it, Prabhu? You have the association with your devotees, then you prescribe rules and regulations, then this will be all sorts of misgivings and remove all personal deficiencies. So basically, what we are talking about the impact of the material energy in our life. And understanding this, how material energy affects us is very, very important. That's where I was thinking when I went, as I told you just a little earlier, not a single pin drop silence was there, not a single honking, not a single disturbance here, disturbance there. And I could feel the devotee who was serving, only one devotee and with a couple of other devotees, that's all. They are managing that entire, it's a small temple structure and then house kind of a thing. And then you have all these trees and other things like the garden thing. Um, and I could feel the uh, bliss in his consciousness, how he was untouched by the material energy, and he is so his face looked glowing, and he was very blissful. And he's a brahmachari, quite. I mean, I wouldn't say more than 30, 30, 35, maybe maximum, or maximum under 40 only. And I was just wondering, because from coming from to come from that place to the main Srirangam temple, where the temple complex is there, no, that itself will take easily some 20 minutes. It's a kind of little into the interior, into the village. And in the night and all, you cannot come because there are no street lights. And you won't even know whether you are going in the road or falling into the both sides. It will just like the street slope. And so his whole life is being there. When devotees keep coming there, many devotees know that place and they keep coming to and then he wouldn't have any vegetables or sabji or anything to make prasadam for them. How he will go and get it? And now they are having the festival in another week's time. So many devotees are coming. Katha will be there. How much cooking has to be done? Where will they go and get all these things? It's a very small place, and I could feel that with all these anxieties, if we had those anxieties, we'd be running around everywhere. Oh, you have to do this, you have to do this, etc. It is completely peaceful. We're very happy. And that's why I saw that he has taken complete shelter of the spiritual energy, the spiritual potency of the Lord, which is that, what is that? Um, the sloka is there, no? In Bhagavad Gita. Daivim prakriti mashitaha. Bhajanti ananya manaso gyata bhutari madhya. How does it? Mahatmanastumba partha daivim prakriti mashitaha, right? They take shelter of the spiritual energy of the Lord. Mahatmanastu Mahampartha, Daivim Prakriti Mashataha, Bhajanti Ananya Manasu. Without any deviation, completely happy. Jnata Bhutadim Avyayam. Very, very happy. So this is like, we are so much dedicating ourselves when we dedicate ourselves to giving Krishna and Guru's mercy to others. I think we can actually be blissful even in the most difficult circumstances. I think that's what I'm again and again trying to uh, reaffirm my own mind that don't get dejected, don't get affected by whatever is happening around. When we catch hold of Guru and Krishna, lotus feet, and in the association of advanced devotees, definitely it will help us in the long. Very, very definitely it will help us. That's what these deficiencies, all the personal deficiencies that hamper the progress of devotional service will be dissipated. And Prabhupada is in this whole purport is just going to gradually from Adar Shraddha Tata Sadhu Sangha Tata Bhajana Kriya, it is going that. He's gradually going progressing. Till now, he has talked about the what is that? After Adar Shraddha Tata Sadhu Sangha Tata Bhajana Kriya. These three things. That Bhajana Kriya is what he is talking about. Then fourth is Anartha Nivritti. Up to Anartha Nivritti, Prabhupada has come in the first paragraph. Then he is going further. So, can we read further?
When all misgivings and personal deficiencies are removed, there is a standard faith in transcendental matter, and the taste for it increases in greater proportion. This
So
stage
this is
leads to
Nishta. Huh?
attraction. Hmm?
This is
Nishta.
the Nishta. Then
This stage led to attraction, and after this there is bhava, or the prior stage of unalloyed love for God.
so this leads to attraction is Ruchi. Tata
Ruchi.
Nishta, Tata Ruchi, Tata Bhava, Tata Prem.
All the above different stages are but different stages of development of transcendental love. Being so surcharged with transcendental love, there comes a strong feeling of separation, which leads to 8 different kind of ecstasies. Tear from the eyes, tears from the eyes of a devotee is an automatic reaction. And because Sri Narad Muni in his previous birth attained that stage very quickly after his departure from home, it was quite possible for him to perceive the actual presence of the Lord, which he tangibly experienced by his developed spiritual senses without material tinge.
Amazing words here, huh? Prabhupada is posing out with a beautiful. It is quite possible for him to perceive the actual presence of the Lord, which he tangibly experienced by his developed spiritual senses without material things. So the spiritual senses are developed. The more we are connected with the spiritual potency, the less we are affected by the material energy. So the more and more we are focusing closer towards Krishna, or we are going closer towards Krishna. And so that material thing will not be there. It will mix up, it will not be there. And that is when we can tangibly experience Krishna. Paramam Pavitram Bhavan, no? Param Brahma Param Tama Pavitram Paramam Bhavan. Purusham Shashvatam Divyam Aditya Ajavayu, right? That Param Pavitram. It's a very important word. Krishna is Param Pavitram. And we also have to become Pavitra to experience Krishna. So if Krishna is fire, we have to become also fiery in our devotional service to experience that fire. To go near that fire and stay with that fire. And beautiful explanation that Prabhupada is given here. It is tangibly experienced by his developed spiritual senses without material things. Any comments here, Prabhupada?
So either we can take it like this, that as earlier you in one class you have said that when we are completely in connection with electricity, we become electrified. Similarly, when we are in touch with Krishna, we become Krishnatized. And when we are in spiritual, we become spiritualized. So here Narad Muni, once his mother died and his spiritual master has left the place after Chaturmas, he has not meditated on the thing that my mother has left my mother. Instead, he was focusing on
Not
the
once he was.
instructions of spiritual master. So he has spiritualized his senses, and there was no material tinge because he was not remembering of I lost my mother, I lost my guru association. Instead, he was continuously focusing on the spiritual. That's why he has spiritualized, and there was no material tinge. So he could tangibly experience. He could see Krishna's presence everywhere.
Yeah, that 2 points which you said, I lost my mother, lost my guru. That lost itself is a material thought.
Yes. So he was not having that thought.
We are not lost. They are not lost to us. Because the moment I say I lost, means I am seeing from a material body perspective. Isn't it? When you are connected at a spiritual platform on a soul to soul level, you are never lost. Right? So when we are seeing that, oh, Guru passed away, how can I think Guru? Guru is always there with us. Mother passed away, mother is always there with us. That's in the spiritual form. And we think that only that form, so and so form in which we saw them moving, talking, etc., etc. That is the only form in which I can appreciate them. So we should see that, okay, they are somewhere else. They are somewhere else serving in some other form of some other material body they would have taken. But Krishna has given us in this lifetime so many years of association with the spirit soul, embodied with the so-called body, which I connected as mother, this relation, so on. But actually, our association with that person is the soul, not the body. Body is only a medium in which we are perceiving it, isn't it? So Yeah, your point is very, very valid. And that's the way I am seeing it. That when Krishna is inspiring in that way, that when we see everybody as spirit soul, we will not be lost. We will always think about them, and without any expectation. Like say, suppose I think about somebody who is staying far away. I am thinking about them, but then I am expecting. I am thinking about them, but I don't think they will be thinking about me, right? Why? Because we are seeing them only from a material bodily perspective. But when we think about them from a spiritual platform, like okay, I meditate on them as a pure Atma, then you will meditate on them without any expectation of return meditation. Like I am remembering you, are you remembering me? We will never do that because that reciprocation is already there. When we remember somebody as a pure Atma, then the remembrance is already there, the reciprocation is already there. Only when we are confined into the body form, see, I called you, you didn't call me. I spoke to you, you didn't speak to me. Those things are all coming. So that is all material things. Those material things will be removed. Very nice point. Lost my mother and lost her. The moment I say I have lost my mother, then it means I am seeing them only in that body.
We had
They
one
are still
class on
there.
this, Prabhuji. You might be remembering when our Pradeep Gupta Prabhu has left his body and you came to his house and you gave, and then that time you have given this complete lecture on this, that Prabhuji is
Yeah,
still there. If we are doing devotion very
yeah,
properly, we are in connection with his soul. In form of soul, he is somewhere
yeah,
there.
yeah. And through that, see, the exhibition of the soul's presence, soul's potency, the soul's presence is exhibited through the various good qualities that he had in his devotional activities. All of us, we are anytime we are expressing some good qualities of our devotional service, little bit whatever we are showing now, that is all coming from the Atma's potency, spirit soul's potency, right? So those qualities, when we remember, forget about the other material things which may sometimes because of our vasanas, we may act in a certain way. We may be short-tempered, we may be something, etc., angry, whatever those things are separate. But most of the time, we'll be remembering their good qualities like, oh, they are very nice, uh, uh, very nice person, very humble person, very sincere in his service, regular in his service, etc., consistent in his service, etc. We say, no, all these are manifestation of our spirit soul's potential. So when we meditate on them, we're actually meditating on the spirit soul, on the so and so devotee spirit soul, right? And that is how we come in communication. We are establishing that anti-material communication, Maharaj would say. We are establishing that anti-material communication with that anti-material particle. That is the spirit soul. We cannot establish material communication with the anti-material particle, right? So that is when we feel very peace, very peace. Wherever they are, the Atma is still connected. We are connected at the Atma level. And so the spiritual masters create that impact in us. Whatever little impact, bigger impact that Srila Prabhupada and our various acharyas and spiritual masters have created in our life is through that connect, through the Atma to Atma connect, not to our bodily connect. They never say, you glorify, hey, you are singing very nicely, you are dancing very nicely, you are talking very nicely. Those kind of things, they simply glorify only the material qualities, then our ego only will get boosted. That is only at the body level. But they are actually talking at they are actually connecting with us at the spirit soul level. That's why we are getting that spiritual impact. And we have to let that impact come into us more and more and more so that we get spiritually earnest and eager to, do more seva. So at the end of the day, Prabhu's message is, it's just, I was just saying, just close with this particular point. And how much time we have? How much time more we have? maximum 10, 20, whatever we may be thinking of. And how soon our life is running away. We were just in 2024 and 2025 is already started. And already it's just going so far. And we are thinking that, oh, I have many more years to live. Maybe let me see later. Let me see that. Maharaj would always say, if at all you want to progress fast in devotional service, he would say, you please understand our very temporary nature of this material world of our life also, very, very flimsy nature of our life, and try to expedite it. Because we don't know when death will come. We don't know when body will have its impact. When it's going to patatya avashyam, definitely it's going to fall off. And so that urge, if it is there, definitely we will want to do more serious devotional service, become more purer in our offering to Guru and Krishna. Thank you so much for all the wonderful thoughts and reflections, introspections you all gave to make me think more. I know this is a bit more spontaneous this time, but Simoy was trying to talk to my own mind rather than speak to others as a like kind of as if I am more of a there is no gospel or this thing, you can't do anything like that. We are trying to uh, go forward in our own little baby steps. And somehow Krishna, and Guru are helping us. Thank you. And Piyush provides some nice points here. Whole materialistic advancement of human civilization is like the decoration of a dead body. Everyone is a dead body, slapping only for a few days. And yet all the energy of human life will be wasted in the decoration of this dead body. I think this is that beautiful sloka. How does it start? Chiram, no. Very beautiful verse. It's the Dehapatra. I think it's the babble of the sea waves, right? 214, no, 214 is this, Dehapatya Kaladradeshwar, right, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Dehapatya Kaladradeshwar.
Yes, Prabhuji.
This world is going to throw us more and more challenging situation towards us, and we have to be ready to face it. And with every day as we are going closer to our final days, our resolve or our strength to fight the material energy on our own is getting weaker and weaker. We cannot have suddenly some fever or some illness comes. When our young age, we would be able to fight it much better. But as we grow older, the illness will stay longer. It will affect our body even more. Our bodily parts will start losing its capacity, and so many more uh, Adi Atmika mysteries are waiting in the wings. Right? We have to be really careful about not wasting the remaining energy, whatever little that is remaining, uh, in fighting this material energy. The remaining reserve energy that we have in us, it should not waste in fighting the material energy. Sometimes we may get the defeat, we may be defeated in our endeavors, but we should not try to rectify it too much. Too much of rectification by material means it's not going to help us in any way. Not going to take us forward. So with that, I will stop, and Krishna willing, you will continue. I'm thinking, I will tell you probably tomorrow evening, maybe we can do a Prabhupada Smaranam. Because my weekdays are really getting caught up with too much of work. And devotees also get busy as the days go on. So better to do a Prabhupada Smaranam tomorrow evening, Krishna will. I will confirm it tomorrow, looking at my schedule. tomorrow sometime in the morning time. I will say confirm maybe around 7 to 8. Maybe we can do if possible. I hope that will be fine. If you want. Thank you so much, Prabhu Mataji. Really appreciate all your time and patience in listening to our discussions, and I think to create some impact in all our lives. Prabhupada will really do the magic as he always does. Hare Krishna. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hari Hari Bo, Vanchakam
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhu Mataji. Really appreciate your time.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
I think this is the first Vichar session for this year. Am I right?
Yes.
Right? We're supposed to do it on the 1st of January, but I thought we really busy and but I was happy that some of you were able to connect and all that. So very nice time we had there. Enjoying Bhagavatam. Citriketu was really doing. Citriketu Maharaj was doing a lot of magic.
Prabhuji, but in
Thank you
that
so
on
much.
YouTube there is only 6 class.
I will ask. They
I've
have
heard
not
only
uploaded it properly. I will ask this Aishwarya Mataji to upload whatever is left over. I think
because the problem is that I have heard half. Now I'm waiting to hear other half. What is there in the
So till which one you read? Till which one you heard?
They have uploaded 6. There are 6 video on YouTube. Their YouTube channel.
Till which verse it was you are going?
And I have said the note as per that only verse. I am not remembering verse, but it is there where he has got the
Because there are some
child and
points
the
which
other
are.
queens are trying to kill that boy.
After that, also a couple of them were there. I will ask them to upload the YouTube. They were actually they were recording it to the YouTube and uploading it. I think the live was not working well in a couple of cases. I will tell Mataji. Maybe you can also write to Aishwarya Mataji.
I have already told her. She's saying that she will do.
Maybe I will tell her again. We'll do that, Prabhuji. Thank you. And thank you for all the wonderful notes. You have really put those points in detail. So that's why I was wondering some points which I discussed, I have not come yet. So I was just thinking maybe Prabhu, then I will do that. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.